All right, 73's Keith, and thank you for the beautiful report. Enjoy the beautiful Sunday in London. 73's, W1ZY, looking into Victor Kilo Long Path, JA in Europe, calling CQDX.
I think you'll like the program tonight. It's really an interesting one, and hey, listen, this is not easy. Okay, I think everybody knows where all the rooms are that you might need to have. So I think we'll skip that. And this is again a similar agenda with Roy doing the FreeDV presentation, and we'll try to finish this up so he can start about 8 o'clock, maybe sooner. I went to the VE session, and they had Ian and everybody there had, let's see, 10 or 11. 10 people tested. They all passed, right? Super. And by the way, is Casanova out here? You ought to know that Bill Casanova is now an extra. Okay? So we were worried about him. No, he studied hard, trust me. But here's a new group. Some of you are on this piece of paper here, on this slide. But if you are, welcome. And it was an interesting exercise to watch the people there. And I did a quick count of each one of the people who passed and tried to get an idea of what study prep tools they used, and got a pretty good smattering of where they were coming from, because as you know, we're getting ready to do a Cram technician course coming up. So we'll try to get this ball rolling with regard to education. We got TechFest coming up the 21st, and we've got a CPO build. I'm doing a forum on antenna optimization, and then also going to try to set up some nano VNAs where the CPO kits are being built. So if you want to set it up, you want to set your nano VNA up to run SWR when you turn it on, I'll be happy to set it up for you so you don't have to play with all the buttons, and you can just pull up 0 to 30 megahertz, look at a multi-band antenna, and then check through each band, and without having to do any setup. So that's one of the things we're going to do. And then we got the club meeting coming up with John Tramontanis on Georgia QSO Party, and then Mike Cohen's going to do a Mestastic network presentation as well. So we're going to have two in one. Okay, on TechFest, basically the idea here is we've got, I think, a total of 8 tables. Basically, most of them are for the CPO kit, and it'll be in the corner over there by the small forum room. And also, we've got the CPO kit there, and there's probably going to be 5 tables for that and 2 or so tables for the club welcome part altogether. So we're minimizing the head count we're going to have to populate that, but I think we've got a good setup this year. Last year we built, or the year before last I think it was, we built 50 CPO kits. And I'm not sure how many we'll have this year, but I think we've probably got more than that in the queue that we could build. After I realized I was going to end up having to figure out what to do as president, I was having a glass of wine one night in December, and I sat down and thought about the fact that, we really ought to think about doing testing again in NFARL. And, I was thinking about what's important with ham radio, what do we need to do, what do I need to do, and start trying to get some things going. And I started thinking about, I went to the Georgia Tech boot camp that Audrey McElroy chaired, basically. She's the president of the Georgia Tech Ham Radio Club. And I saw basically what a ham cram's like and what it takes to get it done. And they had 40 students, and 39 passed the first time, and he was able to go in the second time and get it done. But I'm sorry? Oh, they are? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I was really quite pleased. We did this, we did a class probably, 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, at the Computer Museum. And it was a week, it took a week, it took 5 of us a week to get that done. And I thought to myself, if we can do that in one day, if the kids have some prep coming in, and you study the answers instead of teaching theory. And that looks like the way that most of the classes are going. And we said, all right, let's think about that. And I thought, okay, well, we can probably do that. I went to see the one at Georgia Tech, and it looked pretty clean. It looked pretty efficient. And so I started thinking about, all right, TechFest is coming up. There's going to be a lot of kids there. Why don't we just start building a class, set it up, and put it all together? Thank you. And so we laid it out, and we got a ham cram coming up in this building May 2nd. And we got room for 20 or 25 people. And Dave Bisciotti and let's see, Ian, and I think Mike's been pulled into it. He may not know it yet, but he kind of got volunteered. His eyes twinkle when somebody asks him, so here we are, and I'm going to help. So that's 4 of us, and we're going to take basically 6 hours, go through the 400 questions, and the premise is that the kids are going to come having gone through all the tests and with the study guides, the computer-driven study guides, some of them from Ham Radio Prep, Ham Radio Study, and K6 or KB6NU, I think is his name, who's got a similar one. And we're going to try to figure out in the next few weeks which one of those sets we're going to use and get it set up. But it looks like it's on a roll, and we're going to have a QR code sitting on the website. In fact, it's already there. And pre-registration, so it's all set and ready to roll. We're rolling it out as we go along. The basic idea is to the successful students can walk away with a handheld radio, 2-meter 440, with a load of channels that we're putting together now. We're coming together, we're putting a channel set together for Metro Atlanta. We're going to call it the NFARL Metro Atlanta code plug, or whatever name you want to call it. But basically, you'll be able to use it on Chirp. And if you want to use it, we're going to try to go through it and make it a good enough list. You know, starting premises, maybe a 50-mile radius. Get all those stations, make sure we got, the NOAA stuff and all the things that we might need. And I've asked Mike Roden to do a first cut at that list. So we'll have those loaded. And then the idea is to say, okay, they got a tech license, now can they get on the air? We're going to give them a radio if they pass the test. It's going to be loaded with the frequencies, and once they get their tech license in the next few days after that, they'll be able to get on the air. And then past that, we're going to say, all right, let's do some workshops to help them with that process. Work on the air, maybe do some POTA work, but also put something in a workshop that says, okay, we'll build them a ladder line J-pole. They can get up to an antenna height that gives them some distance, and just really take them all the way from I don't have a license to I'm on the air running, as opposed to stop when the test is over and you're on your own. So that's the longer plan of what we're trying to get started, and this is the pilot program to make a lot of mistakes and learning what we need to do. And the first order cut is we're going to try to do at least 2 a year, and then we're going to start thinking about what we're going to do with the general and extra. That may end up being a self-study mode with the tools that are out there, as opposed to an in-class mode. We need to think through that as a small group. So that's what this is all about. Oh, and also, NFARL gives the successfuls, all the individuals, not just students, a free year membership to NFARL. Okay, so we'll try to give them a good start. And we've got room for 20, 25 kids. Yes, sir. Well, I think one of the things that I've talked to the club presidents around Atlanta, and we've kind of said, look, we need to get back in the mode of building the hobby community, not beat each other to death in different clubs. So we're going to try to start working some of that problem. But I'd like to talk to you about your specific idea, because I didn't catch it all. All right? All right, let's see. Here's the website announcement for the ham cram, and you'll see most of the details are on there, and you see the register now button on there, and they'll be able to go with that. And there's some more. Let's see, were we going to put anything past that? Must be a sign-up sheet behind that, right?
There we go. So if we go here, And it's a very simple registration page. So anyone can just pre-register, right? That was the idea.
Pre-register. The idea is that at TechFest, they're not going to, would you put me back where I was so I don't mess it up? What we thought we'd do is at least expose the kids to the idea and not try to get them to give us some money while we're standing there. So we said, let's pre-register. We'll have this many slots, and then we're going to start communicating with them, and I'll share the detail of how we're going to do that. And then as we get closer, we'll get the sign-ups, and we've only got about 20, 25. It's either going to be in this room or this room back here. Yeah, we've already got the room reserved. Yes? I'm sorry. Okay. By the way, one of the things we've done here is we've said, all right, here's an objective to try to get something done. We'll figure out how to get there as we move. And so we're running this one pretty fast. And my original objective was to say, let's do a class within 90 days, and we're not going to be too far off that number. So, you know, we're making some progress. Okay, here's an idea of what the timeline looks like with the tech class. And you see the activity, the dates, and what we're going to do with the kids, and try to walk through this with them. And actually use an email meet mechanism to check and see what their progress is like and make sure that they're actually studying and they're making some progress. And so, and we're starting to, there's the 3 tool sets that we're talking about. And we're starting to work a little bit more with ham radio prep. They look like they have the best tool set out there and the most current with regard to the architecture and what they're trying to do with it. They're a little bit more expensive than some of the, like Ham Study, I think is what, $5 or something like that for an app. But you don't get the full experience to understand how to go through and memorize. And I think the home ham radio prep guys have done a pretty good job with that. So we're going to probably let the kids use whichever one they want. We haven't figured that out yet. That's one of the things we're starting to talk about. And we're going to try to make sure that when the kids get here, they've gone through all the test questions and they're hitting 85% as they go through each one of the sections. And if we can get them to that level, then most of them will probably pass. So we're trying to spin them up ahead of time as opposed to teach the whole class in one, for a week. And this seems to be working pretty well. A lot of clubs have adopted this, and it looks like it. I was pleasantly surprised with the Georgia Tech crowd, and yeah, they're the brightest kids around, so that's not quite a fair comparison. But just seeing it done and how you do it, I thought it's probably something we can handle. Okay, I try to do a 90-day view of what's happening and kind of give you an idea of what we've done, where we're going, what's going on. You'll notice that the bylaws say hold. We've got a few T's and I's that we're trying to cross and make sure that we're making the right choices here. And we're butting heads a little bit, but I decided to pull back and not try to push it and have to go back again later. So that's the reason, and I'm on the stumbling block. But we're going to be back on track, and I think we'll get that done, and I'll feel a lot better about it. I want to be able to stand up here and say, I'm proud of what we've done. All right, and I'm not quite there yet. But we're working it, and we'll get there. Let's see, what else here? Got Dalton Hamfest coming up, and these are some internal guidelines with regard to what we're trying to do to get things like workshops set up and where we're going with the web planning, that sort of thing. Because some of you started to say, hey, we got a few things there we'd like to have fixed, and so we're going to try to line some of those up. Okay, that takes care of what I was doing. Any questions? We'll get Roy up here. And Do I have a motion to adjourn the business meeting? Thank you. I have a second? Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Everybody say aye. Aye. Any nays? Done. Thank you very much, folks.
Green. We're going green. Okay. Georgia QSO party this year, April 11th and 12th, which is the week after Easter, which works out well, I guess, for most of us. And the Greek Easter's on the 12th, just so you know. But our goals are to have fun, increase club participation, test and enhance our station capabilities. Same goals we have every year. A byproduct of that is we score very well as a club, but we really want to try and get people involved in HF operation and some level of contesting, if you will, although it's called a party. And we have a lot of fun. We'll talk a little bit more about it at next month's meeting. So, is there anybody here who's never done the Georgia QSO party? Okay, that's good. Yeah, you can't help but have fun. And so one more slide, I think. Over here. Okay, and what it is, it's an opportunity. You know how we have a go-to station at Field Day, and at the Georgia QSO party, we're all go-to stations because we're all getting Georgia on the air. And we represent the state and our club. So, and what we have is called the NFARL Challenge. You're probably familiar with that, where everybody submits their scores, of course, to the main contest website. But also we accumulate them here at NFARL and have some fun comparing our scores, giving out prizes or certificates and what have you. So there's a sign-up sheet on the desk there. If you think you're going to do it, it helps us to know who's going to be there, and also when we send emails out about updates and specifics related to the Georgia QSO party. The webpage is gaqsoparty.com if you want to learn about it, look at the rules, what kind of station you can have. You know, some people do multiple stations, QRP, high power, the whole gambit. So you can read up and learn about it, and of course you could ask us any questions here. So, so that's all I've got. We'll have more next month. Sign-up sheets are there. Side commercial, there's a lot of wires and connectors and doodads there from a state that will probably be taking the Dalton, but since you're club members and you came here tonight, if you see something you like, there you go, just grab it. So please, if you think you need it, take it. And thank you.